All right. Well, that was different. Hey, it's been a weird morning already, but welcome to the third episode of Illegal Formation right here on the Inside Edge Network. We're brought to you by LPV Productions and lots of technical difficulties today, but we're making it. We're making our way through it, man. We're gonna make our way through it. I'm your host. I'm Chad Bryan. I got TK Dandridge with me. TK, what's going on, man? Happy Saturday morning.
Happy Saturday to you, brother. Started off a little bit strange, but the rest of the day should be just fine once we get ourselves together.
It should be fine. Listen, it's kind of perfect, right? I mean, people are losing their minds. There's a comet flowing through our solar system right now, and people are. I mean, I'm reading posts on Facebook. People are just talking about it like it's just this giant alien spaceship. They're talking. I mean, it's. Listen, man. People are losing their minds. My computer is losing its mind this morning. Our whole setup lost its mind about 5 minutes before we went on air, but that's fine. We're live right now, and it's fine. It's going to be fine. Where do we want to start this week? We got to talk about the Browns, because not only did the Browns they lost to Big Ben enough, right, during his whole career. Now they lost near Big Ben over in London. Two different things, but same result. Doesn't matter. It's the Browns. You know what they do. They lose football games. They're going to be traveling to Pittsburgh tomorrow, and you know, we'll talk about it on the Inside Edge, Cleveland Browns pregame, NFL pregame show. Me and Ryan Mosser will be on there tomorrow. We'll give our picks. I don't know where you're leaning, but I don't think the Browns have it in them to do this tomorrow. I mean, I think they'll go play football. I just don't think they'll win. But let's not really. We don't want to preview that game. We want to review the week. It's been a weird week for the Browns. Joe Flacco shipped out of town. He's gone, right? No more Joe Flacco. I'm neutral about that. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't working out. Dylan Gabriel had already gotten the start. What are you going to do with a 40-year-old backup quarterback, right? That really wasn't physically able to do as much. I mean, still got a great arm. Legs just weren't there anymore. I mean, you can see it. He couldn't avoid the pass rush, which, by the way, God help him in Cincinnati, because I don't know what's going to happen there, but they also, and you got to realize too, they play the Green Bay Packers. So people are talking about Joe Flacco could do the funniest thing ever. He could beat the Green Bay Packers twice in one season. I'm just hoping he survives the game, honestly, because that Bengals offensive line is even worse than the Browns offensive line. They're terrible. TK, are they not?
Well, I mean, I look at their offensive line right now. Obviously, you go left to right. Orlando Brown Jr., Dylan Fairchild, the rookie, Ted Karras. They got Dalton Reisner right before the season actually started. He missed being able to start the first game, but he did come off the bench later on to fill in for an injured Lucas Patrick. I do believe that Dalton Reisner is their best offensive lineman. Orlando Brown Jr. is a close second. Marius Mims is a decent right tackle. In a lot of ways, I do think the Bengals' offensive line mirrors that of ours. We've had some. Obviously, it kind of stinks to say that having three current former All-Pros on there in Jackie Conklin, Wyatt Teller, and obviously our beloved Joel Bitonio. But at the same time, all these guys have tapered off. They've suffered injuries. They've gotten older. Not the same players anymore. So, I mean, you look back to week one, and you see how Joe did. Other than the two interceptions, which were both caused by drops, 15 looked good. 15 looked good. He got rid of the ball quickly. He was able to complete some passes. He did have the touchdown pass to Cedric Tillman. Listen, you give Joe at least 3 seconds behind that offensive line. Might not be as bad as we think.
Hey,
might not be as bad as we think.
For him, I hope not. I mean, it's weird to see him go to a division rival. I can't think of any other time when a quarterback has started a team has traded rather their week one starting quarterback 5 games into the season. I can't think of another time off the top of my head.
Leave it to the Browns to do something that no one else has done that makes absolutely no sense.
You know, it makes no sense, and it kind of does make sense in the same token. I don't know. I really think they should have kept Kenny Pickett in the offseason. Maybe that's a me thing. I really feel like they should have given him a little bit of time to heal. I feel like I know he didn't get a run with the ones or really run with anybody in preseason training camp. I know he was injured, but I felt like keeping him around would have been, I don't know, a better option than Bailey Zappi and I don't know, whoever else we have on this roster. I don't even know anymore. Nobody knows. Kevin Stefanski doesn't know. Did you see, by the way, this week he was surprised, but he didn't even know that that Flacco was getting traded. I thought that was crazy. Like Barry just made the move, pulled the trigger, and said, "Hey, by the way, Kevin, we traded your quarterback. You know, I mean, you're back up, but still, like, tell the guy, right? It's 2-time coach of the year.
Yeah,
he deserves to know that."
More and more as time goes by, I think Kevin Stefanski really does enjoy trolling. I can't win with Baker Mayfield. I still don't have my quarterback yet. We don't know who the number 2 quarterback is going to be, even though Bailey Zappi has been in between organizations, did not make the 53-man roster, was not here for off-season practice. Shador was. And so when we trade our number 2 quarterback, we got the, I just think Kevin Stefanski is turning into a big troll more and more as time goes by. So I just let a lot of what he says go through one ear and out the other. That's where I'm at.
Do you think that's kind of contrived between the front office and him, or do you feel like there's some tension there? I've been meaning to I don't know that there's necessarily I don't think they're arguing, right? Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski and whoever else is in that front. We don't know. Paul DePodesta and the mystery people that run this franchise. We don't know. But do you feel like there's any tension there, or is it just kind of? I mean, you don't play too much when you're 1-4, right? I mean, you can't have too much fun.
I honestly just think it's a normal disconnect between ownership and coaching staff that it has been the entire 27 years that we've been back. This may be the most confusing time because when I say that the 20s have been the best stretch of Browns football since we've been back, that is not saying much of anything at all. We know what the record is now. I do understand that we have a 2-time Coach of the Year winner. The 2020 Coach of the Year award was very well deserved. A COVID-ravaged year and having to go through all of that, especially as a rookie head coach. Not to mention he got COVID at the end of the season and had special teams coach at the time, Mike Prefer, as the interim head coach for that playoff game. And we beat the snot out of the Pittsburgh Steelers 48-37 that day. One of the greatest days in our history. Shows that we haven't accomplished much since we've been back. But I would just like to, just put that out there that the 2023 Coach of the Year award, I understand where it comes from, having to shuffle through 6 different quarterbacks and you still win 11 games. That was a Super Bowl ready defense, I believe. Deshaun Watson was 5-2 in the games that he started. Not to mention we were able to win games with PJ Walker and Dorian Thompson Robinson, as shocking as that would be. So, I understand that, but at the same time, he has obviously gotten worse since then. How do you go from 2 times winning the Coach of the Year, and now in your last 22 games you only have 4 wins? This is very mid-2010s Browns-esque. You hear a record like that, 4-18. That ain't too far off from 1-31 or 4-44 in 3 years.
I was gonna say, hey, listen, Hugh Jackson's sitting here going, it's not bad. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Getting hot, getting a little too hot, Kevin.
Yeah, seats getting warm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Whatever. We're not really having any fun watching the Browns. We'll talk about it more tomorrow. We'll get into it. I want to talk about the Greg Newsome trade too. They sent Greg Newsome to our current friends, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's just check the standings to make sure the Jaguars still stink. No, they're 4-1. We have that first round pick. It looks like it's going to be in the mid-20s. I don't know. I told you before the season we talked about this. I said the most Browns thing ever would be the Jaguars to go 14-3, right? And here they are sitting at 4-1. I don't know how many winnable games they have on that schedule. I haven't played the schedule. I'm not going to do the schedule game with the Jaguars, but I don't know. I mean, they're 4-1 after 5 games. It's a pretty good start. They just seem to have everything going right, which equates to pretty much what you expect as a Browns fan. Everything going wrong for the Browns, right?
I'm going to say this. As much as you and I would both like the Jaguars to be terrible, all is alive and well in Duval beyond compare. I took
Duval. Sorry.
I took great note of the early start that they had. Obviously, the loss to Cincinnati was tough. That was a very good game.
Yeah.
But to go into Levi Stadium and beat one of the best coach teams in the NFL in the San Francisco 49ers, and then to go back home prime time Monday night against the Super Bowl runner-up Kansas City Chiefs and play the way that they did,
Yeah.
for Trevor Lawrence to keep those guys into that game, for Travis Hunter to be all over the field. He looked great on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Obviously, the deep ball in double coverage. We're going to be talking about that catch for a while. That was sensational.
Yeah.
I just really enjoy seeing what Jacksonville has been able to do these first 5 weeks. Granted, it stings a bit, and we want that first round pick to be great. You cannot help but be in admiration and awe of what Liam Cohen has been able to do, being the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence isn't playing the best football of his career, but he is playing winning football. Who would have known a couple of years ago that had that same thing happen? Would he have the presence of mind to try to get up as quickly as he did and run that thing in the end zone to win the game? He probably
11
would.
times. Yeah, he fell down like 11. That was wild. You ever have a dream where you're trying to run away or trying to play basketball and like the floor is like quick? That's what that felt like to me watching that. I was like, man, like Trevor Lawrence is in one of those dreams right now.
Twice, didn't he?
Yeah. That was wild.
Patrick
and they still couldn't find him.
On his
Yeah,
cleat, and he just went tumbling down. So yeah, that was a crazy play.
I promise you, if that would have happened to the Browns, whoever the quarterback is would have fumbled, picked it up, probably gotten back up, thrown a pick six. I mean, it just would have been a mess. Whatever. Doesn't matter. 4-1. The Jags are 4-1. It is fun to watch, though. You're right. It is good football. It was a weird week in the NFL overall. I mean, the Giants doubled up the Eagles. That was weird. I didn't see that coming. Did you see that coming? I didn't see that coming.
Something it didn't really click till Thursday night that, hey, maybe the Giants might do something. I thought it was going to be a close game. I did not see the Giants putting a whack on them like that.
I mean, the Eagles are kind of hanging by a thread. So, I mean, I'm not surprised they lost, but I'm just surprised they got doubled by the Giants.
Like that, exactly. Yeah. I definitely thought the Giants had more than a chance of winning, especially since you want to get that horrible taste out of your mouth from that 26-14 loss in NOLA a few days ago. Yeah. 5 consecutive turnovers, which ultimately led to their demise. You can't win like that, obviously. No. But yeah, none of us expected that. My goodness.
Yeah, it felt like the Giants were giving up on their season, when they went from Russell Wilson to Jackson Dart, and you thought, man, it's like, we're 15 minutes into the season, and the Browns are trading their starting quarterback. The Giants are, forget Russell Wilson. We're going with the rookie. It felt like a couple of teams that were giving up on their season. Maybe the Browns will turn things around now. No,
I got hope, man. I always have hope. We'll see what happens.
I'm glad you have hope. You can hope in one hand, and it doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. What do they even trade Joe Flacco for? What did they get for Joe Flacco? A box of Hot Pockets and a pair of winter gloves, right?
We gave them a 6 along with Joe Flacco, and we got a 5th in return for next year's draft.
Okay. Same thing with the Jaguars. I think they sent a 7th and got a 6th. So okay, moving up 1 round, that's fine. We don't even trade. We don't trust Andrew Berry to draft in the first round. I don't know what he's going to do in the 6th and 7th round, or 5th and 6th round, but it doesn't matter. They continue to stack assets so they can draft 15 guys in the last 2 rounds and cut them all before training camp starts, I guess. Hey, all right.
Yeah.
So whatever. Do you have any kind of inkling? I mean, if you look at this team, like look at the Browns team right now, and not so much the team, but just look at the front office and the franchise and where they are, both this season, in the future. I mean, it's a rebuild year. Everybody knows that. We've got the defense built. The defense is there, but we're still making. We're trading guys off of that defense. I did think. I don't know. I don't know if they got better, but I think they. I don't think the Newsome trade was. I don't think it was a bad trade at all. Let me say that. I think it was financially very brilliant, honestly. On the field, we'll see. I mean, Greg Newsome is going to be energized going to a contender, right?
Yeah, gotta be.
You would think we don't know how Tyson Campbell's going to feel coming here, but
Much
whatever.
love to him. Thank you for the 5.5 years that you've been here, brother. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope the best for him. I have no ill will toward anybody, whether they leave, they get traded, whatever. When you see him here and you root for him, you kind of, it's hard to not root for him when they go to a new place. But do you have any idea who might be next? I mean, it seems like the Browns. Listen, trade deadline's coming up, right? Any idea? David Njoku? I mean, is Njoku next? You've got Harold Fannin playing pretty well. I mean, you talk about guys that are going to be on the field in a bargain type of situation. I mean, that would be one, right?
Yeah. I definitely think David Njoku is definitely a top candidate.
I think TK was going to say he thinks David Njoku is a top candidate to be traded next. We did lose him. We'll get him back in just a moment. Don't worry. He's not well, look at that. He's right back. He just had to step out for a moment.
My apologies for that, good brother.
No worries.
Like I was saying before, David Njoku, I think, is a top candidate. Very productive tight end, but he is entering his age 30 season. He will be a free agent after this year. Don't know exactly what the number is going to be in order to be able to retain him. He's definitely going to be a top candidate. Wyatt Teller is also definitely a high candidate, like we had alluded to earlier. Not the all-pro player that he once was. He's still pretty effective. Definitely a solid starter in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be 32 next year and a free agent as well. You got to think. You got to zero in on the two guys that requested trades this offseason, Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward. Do you really want to stick around for yet another potentially failed rebuild? I really don't think so. And the packages for those guys are going to have to be steep. Yeah. There's no way you get less than 3 1s for Myles Garrett, and there's no way that you get less than 2 for Denzel Ward. So
this is not a 5th round for a 6th round type of situation, right? That's going to be that'll be significant if they move one of those two guys or both. But again, you've got 2 proven players in the NFL, 2 game changers, especially Myles Garrett. I mean, do you trust Andrew Berry with all the draft capital in the world to replace those guys? I don't know. I mean, is that who you want making the pick?
I don't think I have ever seen a general manager in the history of sports have a rebuild fail, get a chance to rebuild that failed, and have another rebuild after that. I have never seen that happen. He very well may be the first, because I definitely think Jimmy Haslam is scared to death of letting either Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski go at this point. So we very well may see him leading yet another rebuild. We don't know for sure that that's going to happen. Yeah. Like many times before, there doesn't seem to be a clear plan in place, but obviously they're not going to tell us everything.
No.
But what they do tell us is pretty much everything you need to know. They don't know what's going on. No. They have no idea. This is a day-by-day thing.
Yeah, I think it's pretty normal for teams not to really tell fans or the media exactly what they're onto, but I think normally you can see it. You can watch it being built, and you can kind of see a direction that okay, this team's going defense heavy, this team's going off with it, wide receivers, whatever. You can see what they're doing. The Browns just seem to do random things. It's like me playing Madden. It's like somebody offers me a trade and I go, no, why not? I mean, whatever. It's a New Jersey. Yeah, sure. Get the guy in here. It feels like it's really random. And I feel like as often as the Browns build and rebuild, maybe they need to hire a structural engineer. I don't know. I mean, whatever. Who knows? So yeah, that's the Browns in a quick nutshell. I mean, that's 20 minutes on the Browns. That's probably more than we really wanted to spend talking about Cleveland this week on the show. But we did have to talk. The trades have been prevalent. I mean, I think there are more trades on the way. I think more guys are going to be on the way out of here. We talked about a few of them. We'll see what happens. Like I said, they play Pittsburgh tomorrow. We'll talk more about that game on the Inside Edge, Cleveland Browns and NFL pregame show tomorrow, right here at 11 o'clock at a normal time on the Inside Edge Network. So don't miss that. And as for today, as for the football team from Ohio that actually wins football games, we're going to talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes. They're heading on the road to Champaign. They're going to take on the Illinois Fighting Illini, right? The battle for the Illabuck Trophy, TK. That's exciting, right? We got a big wooden turtle I don't know. It's been in Columbus for a while. By the way, that trophy has been around since 1924. That's the second oldest trophy in the Big Ten. Did you know that?
I had no idea that was the longest tenured trophy
The second
in
longest.
all of college
The
football.
longest is the Little Brown Jug between Minnesota and Michigan. So
Okay.
that was 1909, by the way, if you're wondering.
Mm.
You know, Ryan Day's never beaten Illinois. He's never coached against them. The last time they played it was 2017. Urban Meyer was the coach. They beat him 52-14. The last game actually in Champaign was 2015. So we haven't seen this in a decade. We haven't been to Champaign in a long time. Ohio State won that game 28-3. What else? I don't know. Ohio State leads the all-time series as they do against most teams they play. Most, not all. We know Michigan. We know. You won a bunch of games in the early 1900s. Great job.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm so tired of hearing that. But yeah, Ohio State leads the all-time series with Illinois. They're 68-30-4. That 2010 game is not included in there. That was vacated because a couple of guys got tattoos. So that's cheating apparently. But still, never mind. We're done. What else? Oh, this is a cool stat. I saw according to Land. I was reading on landgrantholyland.com. That's a mouthful this morning.
Yeah.
This is a weird stat. The Buckeyes are 14-0 when Caden Curry records a tackle for a loss. So there's that. He also, I think, leads the Buckeyes in sacks with 5 and has 8.5 tackles for a loss this season. So they're on a pretty good track to keep that up and maybe stay undefeated if Caden Curry stays hot. I think that's a cool stat. Don't know that there's necessarily a whole lot of causation versus correlation there, but whatever. I think it's just a random thing. I don't think it's like once Caden Curry gets that tackle for a loss, the Buckeyes win, the game's over. I don't think that's how it works, but that's kind of a cool thing. They're both ranked. I should mention that Illinois, despite the blowout loss to Indiana, they're ranked 17th. The last time they played when both teams were ranked was 2001. Illinois was number 12. Ohio State was number 25. Illinois won that game 34-22. There's a lot of history between these two teams. You remember when Illinois and Juice Williams, everybody remember Rashard Mendenhall? They came to Columbus back in 2007, I think it was. Ohio State was number 1 in the country, and they didn't play well. They got beat by Illinois 28-21 in that one. It's a weird game, man. Juice Williams threw 4 touchdown passes. He only completed 12 passes. Remember in that game, he threw for like 140 yards, but 4 touchdowns.
I try not to remember it.
Yeah, Todd Beckman almost completed as many passes to Illinois that day. He threw 3 interceptions. So that was a rough game. I remember that one. That was a night game. I remember watching that game. Man, Daniel Dufresne. I was looking at some of the stats from that game. He had 8 carries for 108 yards against Ohio State. Didn't score a touchdown. Ripped off an 80-yard run. Averaged 13.3 yards per carry, but somehow didn't score. Rashard Mendenhall in that game, I mentioned him, had 96 yards rushing. That was back when the Buckeyes had major problems tackling football players. They couldn't get the guy with the ball on the ground back then. So I remember those struggles. And then, like I said, Todd Beckman throwing 3 interceptions was oof. Anyway, let's talk about this year's matchup because none of those things are good. We ought to talk about the betting line. This confused me a little bit coming out of Vegas. So the Buckeyes, the last time I looked, it refreshes all the time or whatever, changes. The Buckeyes are a 14.5-point favorite the last I looked. The over-under was 49.5. So I'm thinking like what Vegas is looking for like a 31-17 win for the Buckeyes. That seems like a lot of points for a team giving up 5 points a game, doesn't it?
Right. Love it. Here's the thing, and I know I've said this in weeks prior, but I really do expect this to be a fun game, especially with Illinois being ranked this year. They're 5-1. Luke Altmaier has been brilliant this year.
Yeah.
12 touchdowns, hasn't thrown a single pick yet. Hank Beatty is a very good player, has 32 receptions, 569 yards on the year. Had a 70-yard punt return touchdown this year so far. So they got some players. Khalil Valentine is a good running back, averaging close to 5 yards carry.
Yeah.
They've got a decent defense, and they're at home. Champaign is going to be very, very animated this afternoon, I believe. So, listen, while I do expect the Ohio State Buckeyes to win the game, I definitely think they are expecting kind of a low score.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's fair. Listen, I think if Illinois can take care of the football the way they haven't had a whole ton of not a formidable running game, but like you said, Altmaier's been brilliant. 77% of his passes, I think he's completed. No interceptions. So if they can find a way to just hold on to the football and keep it out of Ohio State's hands, um, they might have a chance to keep it close, but I don't know if they can score to keep up with Ohio State. Because as good as Altmaier's been, you've got Sayin with the 3 interceptions, but he's completed 80% of his passes. I mean, listen, the Buckeyes have given up 25 points. Julian Sayin has only thrown 25 incomplete passes on the year.
Wow.
That's pretty good from both sides of the football from Ohio State. And by the way, you can catch that game on Fox. That'll be on Big Noon Kickoff. So you got Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and Jenny Taft on the call. I was like listening. People are like, Gus Johnson is polarizing. It's like you either love him or hate him. I love him. I love listening to him.
But has been, always will be.
Yeah. I think it's fun. I think that's a fun broadcast. I don't love the noon kickoffs all the time. I think some of these ranked games should be night games, at least 3:30, whatever. We can talk about that until we're blue in the face. It doesn't seem to change. I mean, Fox has got the contract for the Big Ten, so they're going to take the biggest game, right? They're going to take that noon. That's the big noon kickoff. That's their thing. Man, I wish that was the Big 8 kickoff, but whatever. It's neither here nor there. What else? Yeah, you mentioned Altmaier. No interceptions yet. Whatever. Hank Beatty, Justin Bowe. Justin Bowe, by the way, he's scored 4 touchdowns, 4 touchdown passes for him, or 4, I should say, touchdown catches for him. He's only caught 11 balls, so not a ton of yards either. 135. They just seem to find him in those short field scoring situations. So I guess look for that. Illinois, this is weird on their defense. They're first in the country in recovered fumbles. They've recovered 8 fumbles. They're second in the country in forced fumbles. They've forced 7. So,
wow.
If they can, strike against
4-7, that's weird.
Well, I guess one was just handed to them. I'm not really sure what happened there. Somebody just dropped the ball, I guess. It wasn't forced. They didn't force it. Somebody just didn't want to get tackled and said, "Here, take this football." And they gave him a recovered fumble, maybe. That probably didn't happen, but I thought that was a weird stat. But yeah, they're very opportunistic defense. They've only got 2 interceptions, and they've only got -1 return yard to show for those 2 interceptions. So they're not like, I wouldn't call the defensive backfield a bunch of ball hawks. Hopefully, that bodes well for Sayin. He seems to be pretty accurate. He can throw just about every pass on the field. I know a lot of fans wanted to judge him for 1 throw in mop-up duty against Tennessee in the playoffs when it was like 12 degrees or whatever. He doesn't have the arm. He's clearly got the arm to do this.
He's got the arm.
Absolutely, he's got the arm. Yeah. I did see that Altmaier, though, listen, Ohio State's been a very opportunistic, very tenacious defense, especially in the pass rush. And Luke Altmaier has been sacked, I think, over 3 times a game on average. So if they can get to him a few times, they could really give that Illinois offense fits. Just, keep him behind the chains, so to speak. You don't want him to be in a lot of good, short yardage situations or whatever. Where they're going to pass, right? 3rd and long, pin your ears back, go after Altmaier. He seems to be vulnerable back there. So hopefully if they can't make him throw interceptions, they can at least get to him and force Illinois to punt a lot today. We want to see that. I don't know. I mean, the line and the over-under are weird to me. I guess, like I said, the game is in Champaign. Illinois is ranked. This is probably the best quality opponent now that we've seen Ohio State play this year. I think both programs are going to be we're going to learn a lot about both teams today, right? Is Illinois the team that got beat 63-10 by Indiana? Is Ohio State the team that shut down the number 1 team in the country? Who is Texas even ranked anymore? Do they even play football? What are they like? What happened to Texas? Are they even?
Yeah, after that loss to Florida, they are not currently ranked right now.
Yeah.
Completely out of the top 25.
Yeah, but people still keep mentioning Arch Manning as a Heisman candidate, which I think is sort of offensive to Julian Sayin.
A little bit.
Listen, Arch Manning's he's a great kid, probably. I don't know him. I feel like he's got a lot of work to do. He's not far off, right? He's a Manning. He's going to probably figure it out, but he's got some work to do. He's definitely going to stay in college for another year at this point.
Absolutely. He could definitely use a few more college starts under his belt. And for all of you folks that still think he's coming out next year, he isn't. He is not going to be 2026 draft eligible or material. He is not ready yet. Got to give him at least another year.
I would say he would be more likely to be playing for another team in college than he would be to enter the draft. Just that Texas offense, for some reason, has been very unimaginative. I think Steve Sarkisian's calling Kevin Stefanski for advice, but it's been pretty bland. And that could be, rough, because of Arch Manning's lack of footwork right now. I mean, he just doesn't – he looks out of sync. Every game that they've played, save for a few throws here and there, it's like his feet just really aren't matching up with his arm right now. And he can work on that. That's a physical thing. He'll be fine. So give me a score prediction. Let's do that. Ohio State, Illinois today in Champaign. You mentioned it. It's Memorial Stadium is going to be rocking. It's going to be loud there probably. They haven't seen the Ohio State Buckeyes for almost a decade. They haven't seen them there for a decade. Right. They're gonna want blood in this one, right? Not literal blood. They're gonna want to beat Ohio State. Give me a score prediction, TK. Give me something that happens and give me a score.
Yeah, like I said, I do expect this to be a bit of a low-scoring game. What Ohio State likes to tend to do is to slow burn their victories. We'll have, make it interesting for the first half, maybe for a little bit of the third quarter, and then we'll take off. I definitely think this will be another one of those slow burn games. I definitely think the Fighting Illini are going to be very juiced up, very inspired. Bit hot coming out of the tunnel for the first start of the game. So I definitely think it'll be in the end. I think Ohio State prevails 27-13.
Okay. So right there along that's right there. 14.5-point favorites. So you got Illinois covering that. I think that's fair at home. I think that's pretty. I don't think that's unreasonable. Sometimes I think you can come out of the tunnel a little bit too juiced up in a game like this.
That's the thing too. Yeah.
I think they're going to have to beat Ohio State. Any team right now, I think it's going to have to play within themselves and not try to do too much. I think you've got to not make mistakes. I mean, this is a team that hasn't given up anything in the red zone. They haven't given up a rushing touchdown this season. This defense is absolutely. I've run out of words. Just like we've run out of words to talk about how bad the Browns are.
They are the monsters of college football.
Okay, fair enough. And
Matt Patricia is the master behind all of it.
Yeah, and the Illini do not have Michael Jordan. So listen, I think, I don't know, that line is weird. The over-under is weird to me. I get it. It's a noon game. It's on the road in Champaign. It feels weird. I feel like Luke Altmaier is going to throw his first interception. Lorenzo Styles is out today. He's not going to play. You're going to see more Devin Sanchez at corner. Sanchez has looked pretty good in the opportunities that he's gotten. He seems to be aggressive, not Davis and Igbinosun aggressive last year where he's grabbing everybody's jersey 15 times a game. But he's looked pretty good as a cover corner. Maybe Devin Sanchez gets a pick today. I think they'll sack Altmaier a ton of times. I think Illinois is going to have a little bit of trouble moving the ball. I got Ohio State 34-10 in this one. I just think, it's right there. I think they cover. It's not going to feel like a blowout. I feel like you said, it's going to be one of those games where maybe it's like 17-3 at halftime or something. And it's like, okay, Ohio State took advantage of a couple of things, but they missed a couple opportunities in the red zone. Illinois held on to the ball, had a couple decent drives, couldn't finish, whatever. I think it's going to look like that for a while, and then they'll score a couple touchdowns in the second half, get another field goal out of Jaden Field, whatever. 34-10 is where I got it. And fans will call for Ryan Day to be fired because the Illini will score in double digits for the first time all season against Ohio State. It'll be the first time they've given up double digits. So people, despite the 3-touchdown plus win, people will be on social media saying, you got to fire Ryan Day. You got to fire him immediately. It's going to happen.
I don't know where all this animosity within our fan base comes from, especially with how successful we have been.
I don't know.
I understand there's a bit of a gap in between the national championships for this century, but we still have 3 of them. Yeah. So I don't know where all this animosity is coming from. Yeah, I know we want more. We're going to get more. I definitely think we have a very good chance of repeating this year. So I really need our Buckeye fan base to kind of just level it out a little bit. Let's let these guys play football.
Settle down. A win's a win. If they have to win a game 34-28, a win's a win. I mean, don't
They're
you
gonna
can't.
do it.
Yeah, it's not a video game. You can't win every game 77-0. It's not going to happen.
Right. Come on now.
It's fun when you can turn the sliders down and go out and do whatever you want, right? But doesn't that even get a little boring after a while? I mean, you want to see something.
Put it on Heisman.
That's it. Put it on Heisman and
get it off of All American.
Let it ride. Then try to find an open receiver, right? Good luck with that pass rush, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we got a couple other top 25 matchups I want to talk about real quick before we get out of here. Just a few minutes. Number 8, Alabama is going to go see number 14, Missouri. Missouri really likes to run the ball a lot. Could be like a ball control type of situation. We talked about Illinois keeping the ball, out of Ohio State's hands. I think Missouri is going to try to do the same thing to Alabama. Alabama's a 3.5-point favorite on the road. They've turned up the volume on their play. They're looking better. They handled Vanderbilt pretty well last year. I don't think Vanderbilt's not a blue blood, but they're a ranked team. They beat Alabama last year, right? And I thought Bama did a good job of handling their business against Vanderbilt. I mean, I don't know. Is Missouri for real? They scored 29 points, I think, in their only SEC game. They scored some points. They're all right. I think Bama goes in there and gets the win, don't you?
Yeah, I do think Alabama does get things done. I do like this Missouri team a lot. When's the last time that you saw a Missouri team that was undefeated through 5 weeks?
They were pretty good a couple years ago. They had a guy from Ohio, Benny Mock, was a quarterback a few years ago. They were pretty good then. I think they started out like 9-1 or whatever that year. I can't remember exactly what year that was, but they were pretty good. I mean, they're not bad. That might have been
definitely not a bad program at all. But I definitely do think Alabama will come through and come out with a win. But again, it should definitely be a very competitive game. They're in Missouri. Say it again.
Or was it Matt Mock? I can't remember now. It was one of the Mocks from anyway, it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Matt Mock. Man, I haven't heard that name in years. But anyway, I do expect a very close game yet again. Probably another low-scoring game as well. Missouri has a pretty solid defense. Alabama's offense is starting to come together. I do like Ty Simpson quite a bit. But yeah, this is definitely another close game. I expect to see quite a few close games this week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think Alabama covers. I think it's like 27-23 in that game. I think it is close. I don't think they win by, I think they go in there and blow them out. I'll be surprised if they go in there and blow them out.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
That being said, it could happen. You never know. And then the other game I want to pay attention, it's a Big Ten game, right? Number 7, Indiana, who beat Illinois. They beat the brakes off Illinois, 63-10, against number 3, Oregon, who, man, I don't know. I mean, it seems to be like right now, if you look at college football, it's Ohio State, Miami, Oregon, and then kind of everybody else, right? I mean, those 3 teams seem to be super elite. We could be wrong. We could be totally wrong. Miami could lose their next 4 games in a row. I mean, for that matter, Ohio State could lose their next 4 games in a row. I don't see that happening. But Indiana goes into Oregon. That's a tough place to play, right? It's the Autzen Zoo. They call it the Autzen Zoo for a reason. It's like Nike Town, man. It's going to be wild. It's always wild. How do you feel about that one?
Well, obviously, the big matchup for Indiana, Oregon immediately becomes Fernando Mendoza versus Dante Moore. But really what I want to see is what defense is going to be able to show up. Who's going to stop one of these Heisman candidate quarterbacks from making the game theirs pretty much effectively? Yeah. And are we going to get some type of balanced offense? Are we going to get, 20 carries from this cat or 20 carries from them, or are we just going to go all out with Mendoza and Moore just slinging the football around the field? Either way it goes, I think it should be yet another close game, a high-scoring one, I think, if defenses don't get it together. But, that's definitely what I'm tuning into. I'm definitely interested in what both teams are ranked. Both teams have brilliant quarterbacks at the helm. Definitely going to be the talk of the 2026 draft for the time being. We'll see what happens in the offseason. But these guys are definitely polarizing figures in that soon-to-be draft class, and for the Heisman running this year, definitely a game to watch.
For sure. I like Oregon. I think when we Google Curt Cignetti tomorrow, we're going to find out he doesn't always win. But I do think it's going to be a high-scoring, fun game to watch. I hope it's not a dud, right? I don't want it to be a blowout. I feel like this could be one of those games where it could be like 45-38 by the end when it's all said and done. But yeah, I like Oregon at home. I think that's a tough place to go win. We've seen Ohio State struggle there. No 10-second runoff for putting a bunch of guys on the field, though. That's not gonna help. They can't do that today. So we'll see. But I do think Oregon wins that game at home. That's about it for us, man. We're gonna get out of here. We got 15 minutes until kickoff. We want to get you guys out of here. We appreciate you watching today. Don't forget to all week on the Inside Edge Network, on X, on YouTube, whatever. You can find various shows live. You can find some shows are going to be recorded and shown. Don't forget about that. We've got as always, we've got our Browns and NFL pregame show Sunday morning, 2 hours. But Sunday 2 hours before kickoff. So most of the Browns games are at 1 o'clock. We're going to be on at 11. So don't miss that. You've got after the game, you can always watch the Inside Edge. It's what we call it, the funeral march Browns post game, because we know what happens, right? We know what happens when the Browns play football. So that's always like 4:30 to 5 o'clock. That'll be live on the network here. And don't forget to catch Jersey Chasers with Autumn and Christy. That's Thursdays from 8 to 9 a.m. So that's fun. That's always a good show to watch. The Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, Kyle Cornell and our guy Anthony Alford. That's on Fridays. There's plenty. I always say it. There's plenty going on here on the Inside Edge Network. So please give us a follow. Comment. Cruise around and watch a bunch of different shows and interact with all the shows. All the hosts are a lot of fun, man. There's just a lot going on the network right now. So make sure you do that. Go follow us on X. Go follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Put us in your top 5 on MySpace. No, I don't think we're on MySpace. I don't think that's a thing anymore. But do what you got to do. Like I said, we appreciate you watching all the shows, not just us, not just me and TK. Watch all, support all the shows, support all the talent here on the network. It's fantastic. Like I said, we're gonna get out of here. Maybe I'll get downstairs in time to catch. Well, it's not Lee Corso's headgear pick anymore, so it's not must see TV. But maybe I'll get downstairs in time to see who everybody's picking this. I've seen some people picking Illinois, not just the cover, but to win straight up. So I don't know.
Not even surprised. We love a good upset on Saturday, don't we?
Absolutely. As long as it's not our guys, right? Like I don't mind seeing Oregon get upset by Indiana, or maybe Missouri takes down Alabama or something. But I don't want the Buckeyes to lose, so we don't want that upset. But like I said, thanks again for watching us. We will see you, TK and I and Ryan Mosser. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 11 for the Inside Edge Network Cleveland Browns and NFL pregame show, where we will preview the Browns' certain loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, it's getting old to think that way and to say that, but I don't think they have it in tomorrow. So that, maybe I'm not. That's not exactly like teasing my score prediction. I think what I'm going to pick at the end of the show, or maybe I'll change my mind. Who knows? But yeah, we'll catch you tomorrow morning. Thanks again for watching. This is episode 3 of Illegal Formation on the Inside Edge Network. Again, we're brought to you by LPV Productions. For TK Dandridge, I'm your host, Chad Bryan. We will see you guys tomorrow morning. Thanks again. Bye-bye.